Hey travelers, welcome back to Laura's Travel Talk. This week, in our continuing series of the 50 U.S. states, one a week, we're going to Illinois, the land of Lincoln. Illinois is a state packed with vibrant cities, rich history, stunning natural landscapes, and legendary food. So, let's get into it. So let's start out in Chicago, the Windy City. Why is it great? Well, it's one of the most exciting cities in the U.S., and it's famous for architecture, museums, sports, deep dish pizza. It's home to iconic landmarks like Millennium Park, the Willis Tower right there, formerly known as the Sears Tower. And you can go up on the 103rd floor and go out on the sky deck, the ledge. And you're out and it's glass beneath you and it's a little bit scary. This is the part that creeps me out. You go on the glass and you lean completely forward, and I'm not afraid of heights, but that looks a little startling to me. And then, not to mention, in Chicago, we dye the river green for St. Patrick's Day because that's how we do it. So I could go on and on about Chicago because I love this city. And I've done most of these things that I'm going to talk about. So I'll leave links in the comments. And I would love for you to tell me what things you've done in Chicago or Illinois and what you like better, because I love to read and see what other people's perspectives are. So let's get started with some of the things that I can cover real quick. If you're visiting Chicago, you should get on the L train in the loop, which it goes around the whole loop, which is the greater downtown area. And then you can also go out to the suburbs and O'Hare Airport, etc. But it's known as the loop. You can walk through the Magnificent Mile for world-class shopping and hotels and places to eat. That's a fabulous place to just meander about. And then you have to go to Cloud Gate, which is known as the Bean, at the Millennium Park. And it looks like liquid mercury there, doesn't it? And if you go early enough in the morning, then it's not quite as crowded as it can get at other times of day. And then you can take an architecture river cruise to see the city from a unique perspective, both at nighttime and at daytime. And then, of course, you cannot leave Chicago without trying a deep dish pizza. Then you have to go to Lou Malnati's or Giordano's. And I'm telling you, I am typically a fan of thin crust pizza, but thick crust pizza from Chicago will change your life. So get out there and try it. Trust me. Next up, we have Starved Rock State Park. Why is it great? Well, it's one of the most beautiful natural areas in Illinois with hiking trails, waterfalls, scenic overlooks, and it's great for outdoor lovers looking to escape the city. I mean, come on. So my tips for visiting would be, if you visit in the spring, you get the best waterfall views so that you don't end up with this, frozen waterfalls. But the fall foliage season also offers stunning colors, and you can stay at the Starved Rock Lodge for a cozy overnight experience. Get out to Starved Rock State Park. Next up, we have the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum in Springfield. Why is it great? Well, it's a must visit for history buffs, showcasing Lincoln's life and legacy. It features interactive exhibits, historical artifacts, and Lincoln's home. My tips for visiting would be explore the Lincoln Home National Historic Site, which is nearby. Visit the Oak Ridge Cemetery to see Lincoln's tomb. And it's great for families because there's a lot of holographic theater show, and that's kind of fun to watch. Feels really realistic. So get out to Lincoln's Presidential Library Museum. Next on our list, let's take a look at Route 66. It's the start of the Mother Road. Chicago is the official starting point of the legendary Route 66, as you can see there on the map. The road takes you all the way through some quirky roadside attractions, diners, and classic Americana. You start off in Illinois and you head west. My tips for visiting would be start at the Gemini Giant, one of Route 66's famous statues. You should visit the Cozy Dog Drive-In in Springfield, home of the original corn dog. And if you drive through Pontiac, Illinois, you can see the best 66 murals and museums through the whole trip. There you go. There's a few of them. Get out and enjoy Route 66. Our next stop is back in Chicago, and it's the Navy Pier. Why is it great? Well, it's a top tourist attraction in Chicago, and it features boat tours, carnival rides, and waterfront dining. It offers breathtaking views of Lake Michigan and the Chicago skyline. It's pretty cool out there. My tips for visiting would be take a ride on the Centennial Wheel for the best views. And then, if you visit in the summer, there's fireworks shows every Wednesday and Saturday. That's fun. And then you can try a Chicago-style hot dog at America's Dog and Burger, which is nearby. So have fun. Our next spot to look at is the Anderson Japanese Gardens in Rockford. Why are they great? Well, it's one of the most beautiful and authentic Japanese gardens in the U.S. And it's a peaceful escape with tranquil ponds, waterfalls, and Japanese structures. Look at that. Oh, the colors are gorgeous. My tips for visiting would be spring and early summer are the best times to see cherry blossoms. The tea house offers authentic Japanese-inspired refreshments. And, I'd bring a camera because the gardens are incredibly photogenic. So get out to Rockford and see the Japanese gardens. Our next must-see location is the Art Institute of Chicago. Why is it great? Well, it's one of the top art museums in the world, housing works by Van Gogh, Monet, Picasso. I've been there. It's pretty fantastic. So they have The Nighthawks by Edward Hopper, The Sunday Afternoon on the Island of Le Grand Jante, and then, of course, American Gothic by Grant Wood and Van Gogh's Self-Portrait. And then they also have Water Lilies by Monet, and there are various versions of the water lilies in different museums because I know it's also at the MoMA in New York. But I would visit on Thursdays for free admission in the evenings and get an audio tour to enhance your experience because you can spend an entire day there. Enjoy. Well, let's take a look at some of the sports teams that Illinois has to offer. The Chicago Bulls in the NBA. That is a legendary team. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. I mean, come on. They were established in 1966, and they won the NBA Finals 6 times. Dynasty. It's 1991, 92, 93, 96, 97, and 98. Hats off. Next up, we have the NFL and we have the Chicago Bears. The Bears. The Bears were established in 1919, and they are one of the oldest and most historic football teams. And they have appeared in the Super Bowl 2 times, 1985 and 2006. But they, I think, are most recognized for their 1985-96 win with Jim McMahon, Walter Payton, Refrigerator Perry, coached by the one and only Ditka. Mike Ditka. I met him one time at an airport. Nice guy. Also, for those of you that are a little bit older, you remember when they came to do the Super Bowl Shuffle. The Super Bowl Shuffle. Can't sing anymore or I'll get a copyright infringement. Anyway, fantastic fun. Next up in Major League Baseball, we have the Chicago Cubs. I mean, they play at Wrigley Field, one of the most iconic stadiums in baseball. I dropped to my knees and bowed down when I went to Wrigley Field. Fantastic. The Cubs have been around since 1870. They've been to the World Series 11 times. There's the famous Wrigley Field wall of ivy where baseballs get stuck sometimes in the outfield. So 11 times with 3 wins. They won in 1907, 1908, and their most iconic 2016 win, which ended a 108-year drought. You know, anyone can have a bad century. Next up, over on the south side of town, we have the Chicago White Sox, who play at Guaranteed Rate Field. Most of us know them as Comiskey Park playing. Maybe I'm old school. The White Sox were established in 1894, and they have had 5 appearances in the World Series, and they have had 3 wins, 1906, 1917, and 2005. That is the Chicago White Sox, so get out and see them. Next up, we have the Chicago Blackhawks in the NHL. They are a powerhouse hockey team with a passionate fan base, but you know what? All Chicago sports teams are passionate. But the Blackhawks were established in 1926, and they have been to the Stanley Cup Finals 13 times since they've been established. And they have actually 6 Stanley Cup wins: 1934, 1938, 1961, 2010, 2013, and 2015. That's a fun time, and I love hockey. So get out and see the Blackhawks. Okay, let's talk about some of the food in Chicago, because I am here to tell you they have some good grub. And this town likes to get behind their food and their sports. So first off, as I mentioned before, you have to have Chicago-style deep dish pizza. It's thick and it's cheesy and it's a buttery crust. Get out there and try it. My gosh. And then they have their famous Chicago-style hot dog. They're served with mustard, onions, relish, tomato slices, pickles, peppers, and celery salt. Never ketchup. But that celery salt, that gives it just a little extra kick. They are good. Poppy seeds on the bun. Don't forget about that. And then they have an Italian beef sandwich. Similar to a Philly cheesesteak, but the Italian beef sandwich in Chicago is thinly sliced beef on a roll, and then it's dipped in au jus. So good. Next up, I never leave Chicago without getting me some popcorn from Garrett's. Why? Because you have that Chicago mix that's cheese and caramel. It's legendary. It's fantastic. They have it at the airport, so you can pick it up. Then you can end up with orange death on your hands from eating that cheese popcorn. It's just that good. Then they have Green River Soda. Green River Soda is a bright green lime-flavored soft drink that originated in Chicago. I have not had one of those, but it's probably delicious. So like I said before, leave me some comments and let me know what your favorite part of the video is. And I will leave also some links in the comments in case you want to look up any of these locations or sites. And I could have talked about Chicago for 15 minutes because it is a fantastic city to visit. It's got everything you want. It's walkable. You can take the L train around downtown. If you've never been to Chicago, you need to go there once in your life. Get out there. Sports, fun, lots of bars, great food, friendly people, and, you know, a speakeasy or two downtown. I know I've been to. I'm just saying. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe for me because it helps me continue to make content. And I appreciate you watching. Give me a thumbs up. And in the meantime, don't eat too many hot dogs and deep dish pizza.